today what we're going to talk about, we just jump right in. We're going to talk about quantum field theory and manifestation. This is to show you the power you have and how you interact with what we call reality, or how this universe works. All right. So first, let me jump in. Someone asked me message and said, well, Mark, I've been seeing 333 like every week at a certain time. So here's the thing about 333. When you see 333, it basically means, if you want to call it luck, abundance, it means make a decision, it means something about your career, your job, your thing. It's telling you to trust and focus, saying that good things are coming, it's about to be opened up for you. It's a spiritual meaning, saying that you're divinely guided, you're trusted, and good, basically what we call, you could say good luck is on your side, so to speak. So if you're seeing 333, that's the meaning of that. All right, hello guys, how's everybody doing today? Good morning, good morning. Hey, good morning from Portugal. Nice, good morning. All right, so quantum field theory. So here's what you need to know about this stuff to make it work in your life. Number one, we are all fields of duality expressing, we're fields of quantum duality expressing ourselves as waves. What does that mean in layman's terms? It means that the human body, or the human being, the physical component of who we are, is not our true expression. It's just a pattern that's created from the quantum or the molecular world, and our brains decode it, and we see things as humans or human beings, etc. So in quantum field theory, everything is a part of this field. So within this field, it's a field of, look at it like a field of energy. Life comes from that field. Probabilities come from that field. Every single thing comes from that field. You come from that field. But the thing is, that field is still existing. The field is measured by energy, the vibration, the frequency, and oscillation of that field. The thing about the field, the thing about quantum physics, and I'm going to talk about how it relates to manifesting, is in quantum physics, the particle or the atom, the proton, electron, neutron, which you are a part of, it can be in two places at the same time. Okay, not only that, it can access multiple possibilities or probabilities. Not only that, we could go beyond multiple. We go about, how about infinite possibilities and probabilities? The same applies to you as a being. So you are a wave. You're constantly in multiple probabilities and possibilities. I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. You ever hear someone says, hey man, what about my future self, or the parallel shifting or parallel jumping, man? How does all that stuff work? Well, according to quantum physics, it was called the many worlds interpretation, and it's called universe inflation theory, states that the universe is infinite, and that there are not only infinite universes, but there are actually bubbles on bubbles of universe. And within these universe, potentially existing right next to you, is a version of yourself right now in this moment, next moment, next moment. And this version of you is doing the same exact thing, but in a different concept. I'm here sitting in this car, the version of me doing the same thing, a different hat, different glasses, different shirt. It could be any amount of things. But the interesting is, this version occupies any desire you can imagine and see, and not only you're fulfilling them. Now, what's so important about that is, what drives all of this is the watcher, the higher self, what we call the best way to put it, it's the observer, or your consciousness, or a conscious being, or conscious awareness. That's what's driving all this stuff. The thing about consciousness is eternal and universal. It goes in all these different universes. So that means my consciousness is split with what we call my doppelganger consciousness, but they're independent, but they're having different experiences. Now, I could show you theoretically how this works, so that you can understand for yourself. Most of this stuff is by experiencing and seeing how you are so powerful. Okay, check this out. Notice that you cannot feel the same every single day. We all agree on that, correct? Every moment, every time. Do you notice today you're in a very good high vibration, everything is going good, nothing's happening, but the next day you wake up, you all of a sudden feel down and in a funk, and you're thinking to yourself, what changed? What da-da-da? The next time you're up, next time you're down, next time you're more inspired, next time you may not be, da-da-da. All this stuff is happening, right? You're saying to yourself, what's happening? I'm thinking back. Okay, how about this one? How about these thoughts? that you aren't even thinking, but they're coming into your head. You're like, where's this coming from? Where's that coming from? Well, here's what's happening, man. Here's what's happening. Because of what we discovered in quantum field theory, which now we know that quantum entanglement, that nothing is separate, what's actually happening is you're actually feeling, or you're traversing through parallel versions of yourself. You're picking up that self that's confident. The next day you're picking up that self that's down. Next day you're picking up that self that's inspiring. So that means you are actually tapping into every potential possibility or probability of your desire. That's why nothing can be the same on a constant. It has to shift. Those thoughts you're getting, same thing. They're all coming from different possibilities, different probabilities, different universes, different consciousness. Some of them are yours, some of them are not. So we are all receivers of information. Does that make sense? You get that? Because that's very important to understand. Now, being positive is key. You can be positive, but you can't be positive all the time. You have to be able to observe, and this is where the power of observation without absorbing comes in. This is why you have to be able to observe both the positive and the negative and give them the same feedback. That will put things in a neutrality thing, and that will make things normal for you, and that's how you manifest. All right, so quantum field theory, go over again, states that everything exists in probabilities, possibilities. You have infinite versions. There's always different things that you can create. You're always a wave. You're constantly moving and oscillating. Okay, manifestation, that goes into the consciousness. Consciousness now is the awareness of our self-being. Okay, in a consciousness, it inhabits the mind of the brain. The brain now is a receiver of information. The brain, because it evolved on a three-dimensional plane. Now, when we go to the dimensions, now we live or we exist on three-dimensional planes as human beings, as physical form. And in this three-dimensional plane, we use our prefrontal cortex, which is called your ego, your conscious mind, to do primarily most of the work. The subconscious does the work below. We'll get to that in a second. But in the conscious mind, it has a very unique capability. It is a great illusionist. It's a great magician. It's a great trickster. It actually fools you and tricks you and convinces you of something you're really not. And I'll tell you a perfect example. You're not your name. You're not your age. You're not in a city. You're not in a state. You're not, actually, you're not nothing. Nothing exists, and everything is just happening. But the brain, because it has to create survival mechanism, hence fear, doubt, worry, hence a name, a personality, which we created again and invented by society. We call that the matrix, which give you a gender, an age, all this stuff. So all that became your personality, and that's all derived, and that's all procreated by the ego or the conscious mind. Now we go back to the top of the awareness. Now within that, your awareness still exists, and it's still hovering, and it's still interacting with the physical 3D body. Now your awareness in the higher self primarily interacts below your consciousness, which is in the subconscious mind, and that is where you can get intuition. Now what the higher self does now, it interacts within the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind feeds information to the intellect mind, which is the ego mind. The ego mind interprets it, and then things manifest. Manifestation is the process of bringing something from the non-physical into what we call the physical. Here's what you need to know about manifestation. Manifestation is really everything is already manifested, but we make language to make it easier for our brains to understand. I gotta say this to make this simple for you too. First of all, your brain doesn't understand language. It understands behavior, emotions, and action. So if I tell my brain, hey, make me more money, make me more successful, that is not going to work. My brain does not understand that. We understand that. We are humans. We made language up. Key point, your brain understands behaviors and things of that sort. So remember that. All right, going back now. Within the higher self, it talks to the subconscious. Subconscious communicates to you. How is that all done? It's done through the imagination. So manifestation is using the imagination to see something in the mind and bring it into the physical form. So got that so far? I know I'm going a little fast here, so how can I help? What's this? How can we help aphantasia? Well, you don't have to aphantasia. You don't have to visualize. You can feel and you can write. It's all the senses. So manifestation can take the form of visualization, can take the form of feeling, can take the form of writing. Anything that you can put into motion to feel something that creates it. Now, key point you have to realize and understand is that there isn't anything like physical. The spiritual is actually the real world. It's just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. Keep in mind, you only have five senses, guys, that we can use. The universe, the way the universe is made, it's like 97% of the universe is hidden from us. 3% is what we can interpret. Okay, so keep that in mind. What about reprogramming your DNA? What about it? You can reprogram your DNA. You reprogram your DNA through your imagination. Everything is information. So let me show you how this stuff works and what you are. So what a lot of people, what happens with a lot of individuals is they get caught up in the self. They get caught up in their name, their age, their race, their religion, their job, their title, their country, whatever it is. They get caught up in the matrix. That's the game. They get caught up in all that. And when the more you get caught up into that, the more you convince the subconscious that is real. Why is that? Because your subconscious is irrational. Nothing is real or nothing is fake. Everything is the same. But if you keep sending a signal to it in your world, it becomes real because your conscious mind says it. And so all this, remember, all the subconscious does, guys, is prove to you what you focus on and think about the most, and it makes that reality. And your conscious mind decodes that, analyzes that, and says this is true, this is not. So let's go back to that. So what happens is people get caught up into this notion that they are this limited being. Key point: the brain, in the conscious mind, it is limited. In the unconscious, it is limitless. Most people don't exist in the limitless part of the mind. Most people exist in the limited part of the mind, and this is done through social programming. That's what they're surrounded with. So people get inundated with this lackluster, limited life. Hence, they lose a lot of hope. They get desperation comes in, lack comes in, depression comes in, because the mind is saying, I can't figure it out, I can't see it, there is no hope, there's nothing. So unbeknownst to them, they have this powerful part of them that exists, but no one is teaching them to tap into that. I just think there's a taboo about letting people know, or teaching or training people to exit the self and get into the higher self. Leave the lower self, go into the higher self. Lower self, ego, higher self. You get the picture. And that's what you are. So the thing is, and we go to quantum physics now, and we go back into the quantum field theory now. In this essence, everything can only come into existence because of a watcher or an observer. In actuality, everything is connected. Everything has intelligence. It's consciousness. When people talk about evolution, how things evolve, that's consciousness does all that. You can call consciousness God, whatever you want to call it in your field, higher self, source energy, God, whatever. But there is this conscious awareness. You have it. You are part of it. So if you want to call it God, you have to be a part of God because you are aware and your thoughts and things come into your head. So that's irrefutable. So some people say, yeah, you're not God, da 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 da, and that makes you feel limited. That's a part of the program of the matrix again. You have to wake up and learn the truth. Now, the fact is this: with the electron or the atom, right? It has to obey an observer. In other words, when you're not observing something, the natural state, now this is important for you to understand, the natural state of anything is a wave. What is a wave? A wave means this state exists in all potential. They call that quantum superposition. It means that you exist simultaneously as every possible version of yourself until you tune into a specific one. What's the problem? Unfortunately, we've been programmed and conditioned to tune into the negative part of the self, I'm just using self to just make sense to you, of your true being. We've been conditioned to program to be focused on that version of us that is limited, lack, desperate, needy, not enough. It's out there, it's infinite. So that's the problem. We've been programmed into doing that. Now the electron or the atom, it's observation based on our observation. It means it's conscious. It knows when you look, it says, oh, he's looking, so let me create something. He knows when he's not looking. That's called awareness. That's a level of consciousness. You control that as well. See how that works? Okay, good. So it's the 333. Mark, do you also feel a huge change of energy happening today? Yes, yes, I feel it. There's a full moon a couple nights, right? Everything is shifting. See how it works? Good morning, good morning. Right. Can manifestation work if you're in mourning? Yes, manifestation can work even in mourning, uh, because you don't need to be always in a high vibe to manifest, right? Remember that. You can manifest in any form. The fact is, manifestation is all about intent, right? Let's see. Uh, Mark, what's more stronger to think from there? The goal done or live in the moment? Well, the moment is already happening. You just have to be aware of it. So it's actually both of them. You want to live it in the moment, and you have to see the goal done. Because remember, everything that has happened already happened. Now, let me tell you something else about quantum field theory that it predicts, and this is what it says. Quantum field theory or quantum physics as the universe says that once the universe began, from once that singularity from one from another when the other universe bumped, when those bubble universes bumped into each other, they spawned this universe. That's called the singularity or a big bang. That's how we came here. So we came from another universe, the human form, but the consciousness is always there. So what it says is that um, when this universe um, began, everything that is happening right now has already happened. Quantum physics predicts that, and this is maybe this thought, I don't know, maybe this may rub some people the wrong way, or maybe may enlighten some people the right way, whatever it is, but this is what's happening. This is what we're seeing. Quantum physics says everything has already been predetermined, predestined. So free will may just be an illusion. So what it says that whatever you're in now, whatever you're going through now, that was just a part of the plan. Now, when we go into the higher self, now what's happening here is, remember, guys, this is important to understand. Now, this is very important to understand. Um, Emotions and feelings and things are language we made up. Pain and all that stuff, suffering, these are things human beings made up. According in the universe, everything is just happening. It's the labels we give things. And if you look at things, if you notice that the way you perceive something, it can either get better or worse. That's your sample of what we call free will. That's the only thing you have here, is to observe and perceive something different. So you have already predestined your destiny once that singularity happened. So that's a good thing, right? So free will is kind of an illusion. Now let me get deeper so people can understand this. Okay, once that singularity big bang occurred, all the probabilities and options are already played out, and infinite. And I'm gonna get even more technical than you to show you that, to give you an idea. Did you know that when you got up this morning and when you did what you did and when you do what you do, that was already predetermined by the subconscious mind? A matter of fact, we are more 97% on autopilot than we are conscious. We are only 3% of conscious awareness. So that means there's something downloading programs into our subconscious to do things. So whatever you're experiencing, guys, just know it's a part of your growth. It's to help you. You chose this before you got here. Remember, the higher self can't experience death. You cannot experience death. Consciousness cannot experience death. Death is an illusion. Only the physical body and the ego fears death. The body will decay, but the consciousness of you, the watcher, can never die. It just transcends, it transforms, it reincarnates, it goes to another universe. So keep in mind that in your true self, there's none of that stuff hurts you, but because you're here, the body feels those things. When you feel pain, it's not you feeling it, it's your body. Your mind is interpreting the pain. But the watcher is also aware of the pain, but the pain cannot touch the watcher, the higher self of who you are. So you have to be able to transcend and now perceive things differently. So look at that. So whatever you're in your life, don't deem it as bad or this is messed up. Just deem it as is. It's just happening. Change your perception of it. I think that is quite empowering. And I think the fact that we're all predestined already. So that literally means that whatever is in my heart and whatever I want to create or what comes up out of his imagination, that means I put it there to manifest it. That's the same thing for you. So even though you feel you may not be able to do it or it's hard, if it's in your heart, man, and if it's in your mind, and if it's one of your big dreams, it was put there by you to manifest. All you have to do is get out of the way. Get out of the way means get out of the self, the ego. Lose, don't lose it, but disengage from it, right? See how that works? 6, we are bigger than anything we're going through and are the, that's correct. Yes, that's absolutely true. But you have to realize that. See, Mark, when you got the M3. Okay, someone else. Mark, when you got your M3, did you also feel low at times? How did you get back on visualization? Yeah, before I got it, of course, because I was operating with the self. So there was times when I didn't believe it would happen. I doubted. I put it back. But what helped me is the science. I always went back to the science, because the thing about science is, man, when something can be repeated and you get the same results, it's a very uplifting and positive feeling. It's like, okay, this stuff works, so I'm going to do this. Okay. Yes, did you hear about that woman, Tommy Van Winkle? She won because of your teachings. Yes, as a matter of fact, I think I interviewed Tammy when I had the podcast channel, and she came on and she talked about it, and she she won that. It was in Wisconsin. She won $1 million, and she was using the visualization and the imagination I'm talking about. So that is awesome. But yeah, back to the thing. So you're always going to feel doubt, but what helps you to and this is why I'm doing this and my channel and everything. If you notice, my channel is always about spiritual science, physics, spirituality. I merge those two to show you it's not just philosophy or pseudoscience. This is actually things, because a lot of people out there, when they hear this information, the first thing they do is they doubt it, and that's okay. When you doubt something, you're not aware of it. We're all ignorant to something. If you don't know something for the first time, you just don't know. But when you do know, you know. That's part of being a human being. That's a human experience. But the point is that when you understand how reality works and you see the science behind it, it gives you more faith and persistence to do it. So that's what I did. I kept going back to how this stuff works and what the evidence and what stuff shows in quantum physics. And that was able to maintain it, and then the rest of the results. I successfully got that stuff. Someone asked me here, when you visualize, you talk in your head. You could, theoretically, yeah, you talk in your head through images, or you could talk in your head in mind. Yeah. So, do you control your ego? Yes. Now that's something that you can control and interpret, because again, you have the awareness. You have awareness of everything. So you have the awareness even of the ego. And because you have awareness of the ego, what the ego has what we call willpower. That means you can able to do something. You can override your mind temporarily. That's a good thing. So the problem is, most people don't they don't understand separation from the ego. In other words, most people think they are themselves. That's the bottom line. They didn't know that the ego is a separate component. They don't know that. They think that this is just me and who I am. They have no idea that there's different components happening. So that's the main problem. Now for you guys and for people who one day woke up, or one day they were lucky enough to find this information, and one day they learn that, oh my God, so that voice that's always tormenting my head is not me. And oh, there is a part of me that's called an ego. Oh, there's actually no self existing in me, right? Now that's where that's where enlightenment comes in. That's where now truth starts to grow, right? How do you identify the ego's voice or the higher self? Okay, that's what we're. So to identify the ego's voice it will always be a voice that will make you feel some sort of way. The ego's voice will most likely, you'll, okay, ego's voice will always make you feel uneasy, uncomfortable, worried, doubtful, anxious, regretful. That's ego. Anytime you ever feel inspired, peace, cool, optimistic, your higher self is talking to you. Okay? Just finished reading your book. Loved it. Thank you. Yes, I always say, guys, get the book. The book is the holy grail. Manifesting Lottery Using Quantum Physics, Your Subconscious Mind. My other one, you can find them on my website, Amazon. So is the ego bad? No. Someone asked me if the ego is bad. The ego is not bad, guys. Remember, everything just is. The ego just evolved in a way to protect itself in this environment. Unfortunately, that's what it does. It uses these fears and doubts to worry. Guys, you got to remember one thing, right? The brain that interprets all this stuff, and I have to say this because it's important. You ever hear someone says, well, happiness is personal? It's true. Your brain didn't evolve happiness. Your brain evolved survival. Your brain didn't come here to make you happy. You know where happiness comes from? The higher self, the awareness of who you truly are. You create happiness. You put happiness into the brain. You create it. The marvelous thing about the brain, the human brain, is very malleable. The brain can adjust and accept new information. That's called neuroplasticity. So even though the brain evolved to just survive, the brain has enormous spaces to retrain and accept stuff. Most people don't know this. So what happens is, if you notice, the reason why people are always more in a negative than positive, because the brain doesn't see happiness as one of the components. It just sees survival and minimalistic. It's minimal. It says, I'm just got to do enough to be minimal. And that's where the ego comes in. And that's where you always have fear of the future and all this stuff, because the brain has to keep you on constant alert. That's all. So happiness is personal. You can choose to be happy without having anything. Remember that. And being happy can bring you everything. So keep that in mind. How do I cultivate happiness, Mark? Your imagination. You can imagine things that make you feel happy. You can visualize things that make you, and that will go in and help your subconscious to create this new reality. See, do you see how that works, right? Being present. Now, in quantum field theory and manifestation, let's go back. Quantum field theory. So we all know what manifestation is, bringing something from the non-physical into the physical, and in quantum physics. So let me show you something in quantum field theory. Quantum field theory states that everything that ever existed or existent is there already. So it says that every single human being, every one of your desires, the things you want, whatever it is, it exists in that field as a thing. Okay, what do I mean by that? It exists in that field as a probability of existence. In other terms, let me make it easy for you to understand. You go by puzzles, and you know those little puzzles and pieces, you put them together. Quantum field theory states that all your desires exist in these puzzles, and all you have to do is put them together, and then they materialize into your physical reality. So you never have to create. So it says that all your desires already exist as a probability of existence. It's there in a definite form. And look, it gets even better. Guess what? You don't even have to put the pieces together. Even though the pieces are there in these puzzles, you think like, okay, man, this guy just told me that. Damn. So in quantum physics, that's great. So my desire to have this or that, or to have this business be successful, to make more money, to win the lottery, to have more spirituality, to be healthy. He just told me that all that exists already. But damn, he just told me they're in puzzles. So I got to go figure to put them together. Nope, it even gets better than that. You don't do the work to put them together. You know who does the work? Remember now, I said one of the mind is limited, one of the mind is limitless. Which is the limited mind? Ego. Which is the limitless mind? Subconscious. So your subconscious puts them together for you. All you do, and this is all you got to do. This is all you have to do, is train your mind to focus on that thing through your imagination. That's it. And the more you focus on that thing, think about that thing without a need, the subconscious gets the information, gets into that field, takes those puzzles, puts them together, bam, and they come into your world. See how easy that is. Okay, now in quantum field theory, quantum field theory also states in quantum physics that the past, the future have no reality of their own. Repeat that again. The past, the future actually have no realities of their own. Quantum physics says the past and the future are all borrowed from the present moment. In other words, they're all happening at the same time but in a different location. It's the block universe. In your mind, you created the past with the memory, courtesy of the ego. You created the future, courtesy of the ego. But in actual reality, in quantum field theory, they all exist simultaneously. So, in short, there is no tomorrow happening. There's no next year happening. There's no 2022, 2023. There's no 19. There's none of that happening. It's all right now in this moment. These are stuff that was invented and created by the Matrix to make sense of our reality, to make your life more whatever simple form, to make your human existence manageable. That was all created. That's important to understand because people don't get that. Okay, Mark, I manifested my dream job. Okay, I feel the shift. That's good. That's good. What do you say? I feel the shift. What is it on hold? I can't get it. What is it? I manifested my dream job. My cool blue car type is still on hold. Okay, the next thing is, guys, just okay. Just because evidence of something does not mean it's not there. Just because you can't see the evidence doesn't mean there's no evidence of it there. So keep that in mind. So when you say it's on hold, it's there, it's manifested. You just have to bring yourself to that frequency. Now, quantum field theory, go back again. Everything exists in different frequency forms and based on the vibration and frequency. So what you do is think about the human body, who you are. Electromagnetic being. The key to get to where you want to go is to adjust your frequency. That's what will take you to your desire. How do I, Mark, how do I adjust my frequency? Again, your imagination. The way you think, how you feel, what you focus on. Things that will change your vibration. Do more laughter. Do more grounding. Do more meditation. To be more open-minded. These things put you on different frequencies. These are the high frequencies. These are where the stuff you want exists. The low frequencies, the stuff you don't want. What is it? Fear, doubt, worry, negativity, jealousy, all that. These exist there. Now, it's about putting yourself on the frequency you want, right? Mark, manifesting a good job, applied, got rejected. Voice says, settle for a lesser job. That's a perfect example of the ego. That's what it does, guys. So I like this comment here because this takes in a whole bunch of stuff he just says here. So let me show you how this works. Remember, everything is happening. Is what we give labels to. Now remember, guys, you chose, everything's laid out for you. So every disappointment is for a good. Every rejection is for a what? Protection. So that's what this is. This is the main key you gotta have in your head, guys. If you're applying for a great job, you got rejected, be happy. It's a protection. It means something better is on the way. Remember, everything is predestined, predetermined. This is already played out. You're just going along with the ride. There's really nothing you can do. You're gonna have a little bit of free will. So if your higher self is in control, that means something better. It knows more than it knows what you want before you want it. So go with it. But this is where the ego messes you up. The ego says, that's bad. That's a dream job. We got messed up. Let's settle for less. So why does the ego does that? Very simple. I'll go back again. One of the mind is limited. One of the mind is limitless. If you have a limited mind, you can't see more hope. You can't see more options. You can't see more ways. You can't see more desires. You can't see any of that. Therefore, what is going to create? Lack, doubt, worry, depression, despair. Hey, let's settle. Don't settle. Now, If here's the thing you understand now, this is where your trust comes in now. If you're applying for your dream job and you don't get it, that's fine. Remember, everything is under control. Something better will come. If it's a case where you gotta use your logic now, and you know I need money, let me just get another job, just temporary. It's not forever. This is the state of mind you gotta be in, guys. You gotta go with flow of things when it comes to manifesting. And all this goes back to again quantum physics. How do you teach to train your ego? By talking to your ego out loud. That's it. Telling your ego what to do in a calm voice, telling it what you want to experience. Yes, so someone mentioned the secret for the imagination. It's repetition of the mind. That's correct. This is there. The key to this is to repeat the process until you get the desired results. I'm going to repeat the process until I get my desired result. That's the motto. Right? Someone says only men can lucid dream. Incorrect. Everyone can lucid dream. Um, Mark, have you heard of CERN? Yes, in Geneva, Switzerland. There, CERN is the particle accelerator that they find different particles and discover more in the quantum world and goes deeper and deeper. So they're always searching for new particles to see how deep the rabbit hole goes. And when they discover new particles, actually help because it creates more modern things, technology. We learn more about the universe. We know more about ourselves. So that's the purpose of CERN. How can I manifest good things for someone else debt free? That's actually tricky. The only way you can manifest something for someone else is if they're open to do it. If they're closed, it's not going to be possible. In other words, if they have an open mind, if they believe, have faith, you can help them. But if they're always negative and they're not certain and they're always doubtful, it's not going to happen because they're going to block it. Do you believe in using crystals with manifesting? Yes, crystals are very high in energy. They basically conduct energy and heighten it more, so it's a great tool. It's all crystals in your phone. You need crystals. Um, how do I bully my ego? No, that's the thing. You don't bully your ego because the more you bully your ego, the more it's gonna fight you. You calm the ego. You talk to the ego as a child. The ego as a child. Remember, guys, you have a limitless mind inhabiting you, man. Did you get that? You have a limitless mind inside of you, and you have a limited mind. Go and use your limitless mind to calm the limited mind. You don't have just the ego. So if you understand that, then you'll start to know that, okay, if I have a limitless mind, my ego is like a kid. So let me talk to this guy like I talk to my child. Hey, and your ego will listen because it is limited. The higher mind is limitless. Plus, you are the watcher, the observer, right? These things will help you to change. Who's in charge of this matrix? Who manages them? Who creates the matrix? Is it something exist above the matrix? Something more powerful than the matrix? Okay, this is a good question here. So let's break it down. Let's go one by one. So the first one is who's in charge of the matrix? The matrix is in charge of your authority figures, your government, your municipals, the banks, the religious leaders, politicians, whatever controls your city hall, anything in power, mainstream media. Those are the controllers of the matrix. Who manages them? The same people, high people, bankers, politicians, anybody that can influence the political scheme, that can influence the system. They're the ones that manages them. Okay. So we got that one. Who created the matrix? The matrix was created uh, through industrial revolution, through technology. Once human beings started to figure out and discover talents and use things to create, it started with the industrial revolution. Andrew Carnegie created the first school system, which was designed, interestingly, to train people to be factory workers. And keep in mind, school system hasn't changed since then. So it was designed to make people robots, not thinkers. So the Matrix was created, Matrix really started during the Industrial Revolution. It started to peak during the Middle Ages when things like monarchy, um, kingdoms, but it really got going during the Industrial Revolution, right? Does something exist above the Matrix? Something more powerful. Of course, the matrix is just our 3D world. There are other dimensions above this, five, six, seven higher dimensions. You can be in the 3D world and you can be out of the 3D world at the same time. In other words, we're all in the matrix. There's no guarantee that when someone said, man, you got to escape the matrix. No, no. You don't physically escape the matrix. When I talk about you got to escape the matrix, I'm talking about mentally, consciously, because you inhabit them. You're still here in the matrix. Like I am in the matrix, but I'm not in the matrix, if you get what I mean. Means I am physically here, but I can glitch the matrix. I can manipulate the matrix. I can get the matrix to work in my favor to do what I want to do, to have whatever you want. You can do the same thing, but you have to do that through the mental, through the mind. You have to escape the matrix. So when I talk about escape the matrix, you can't know it. It's not physical. This is a mental construct. It's a it's a higher consciousness awareness, because the matrix what gives you your stuff. The matrix would give you the job, the car, the lifestyle, the things, right? The matrix create all this stuff. The matrix is the lottery, gives you all that stuff. It's part of the matrix. But you can glitch the matrix. You can manipulate. You can manipulate the matrix, because the matrix is the same as anything. It is transparent. Even though we created these systems of government, you still can't break the quantum law. Quantum law applies. So no matter how powerful the matrix is, you can be more powerful than the matrix, because you can use your mind over matter. You can influence things in the matrix. So the matrix is the mind. So what's more powerful than the matrix? The higher mind, the higher consciousness. Okay? See how it works? Mm-hmm. How can one manifest themselves out of a person after they already look? What? I didn't get that one there. Yes, crystals definitely can protect you. How long does it take to manifest one thing? Now, the thing about manifesting, and this is what I want to teach you guys, is stop looking for manifestation to come in a timely manner. Just look for manifestation to happen and let it go. When it comes in, it comes in. Because again, quantum field theory, everything is happening now. If you want to manifest what you call faster, be more present. When you're in the present moment, you eradicate the future and the past, and it makes time speed. So it gives you illusion of time speed enough. Mark, how can I reverse my gray hair? You can do that through imagination. You can visualize that. You can also use different herbs and things that can do. But one of the most powerful things is imagination. Let me touch on that again to show you the power of the body and the. So the thing about the body is, the body, just like I said, the universe is a self-correcting code. So is the human body. The human body is a self-correcting code. You know, from the day that the body became into existence, from the day that sperm and that seed created, your DNA started to create DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, right? The thing with DNA is every information has already been pre-programmed. That's why I told you everything is predetermined, predestined. So from the day you were born, your body was already designed to be optimal health. Notice, I said this before, whenever you get like a common cold or flu, what happens? The body always goes back to being healthy. The body doesn't stay that way. It's always trying, and it's always. So what happens? Most of the time when the body doesn't recover or get back to its natural state of health, it's usually due to environmental factors, free radicals, the environment, the chemicals, the things we put in our food. All these things can disturb or destruct cells in your body, and these cells mutate and they go haywire. But nevertheless, the body is always attempting to get back into form and into shape. So with that being said, that when it comes to creating what you want, the body will always be in that alignment. Now here's how it works with the mind and the body. Okay, what you're supposed to do with the body is, you're not supposed to be the body. This is important now. You don't be the body. You observe and listen to the body. I am not my body. I'm renting the body. I'm a renter here. This body's not gonna last forever. When I go, whenever I leave, whenever you leave, my higher self, my conscious, I'm gonna go into another being, another body. I don't know where it is. Maybe it's another dimension. Maybe it's another parallel universe. Maybe here. Maybe it's 1,000 years. Whatever. But I'm gonna transfer into another state of existence. So I always look at my body as the renter. So if I'm renting the body, I'm going to make sure the body is a nice place for me to inhabit. So what do? I'm going to listen to the body. The body says it needs this. I'm going to give the body the tools it needs to last as long as it can last in this three-dimensional plane. If I can do that, then the body's going to do everything else. So when I do that, I'm more able to focus on expanding my consciousness now, expanding more and doing more creating, because I don't have to interfere with the body. Because check this out, you cannot, anyone here, write it and tell me if you can. You cannot control your metabolism. You cannot tell your body when to digest food. It does it automatically. The body's already on a timer. Every single one of you rent a body. You don't own this body. That gives me immense freedom. I mean, a matter of fact, everything you do, you're renting. You're just passing through all of this. There's just nothing you can take with you, man. So that gives you tremendous freedom to understand that let me just chill and let the body do its thing. The body will tell me when something's wrong. It'll let me know, okay, do this, I need this. And you go do it and give that and then move on. So it goes back now. You can, the cells in the body, now listen, the cells in the body also listen to your imagination. So someone asked me about the gray hair thing. You can actually program the cells in your body to reverse that. It's called the placebo effect. This has been known for decades, going on maybe not even 100 years now. But it's known that the belief system, your belief in something can change the molecular structure in the body to adjust to make that thing happen. It's called the placebo. Whenever, listen guys, whenever they're doing what they call clinical trials or anything, they always do two trials. They have the actual trial of the drug they're using, and they have the placebo or the sugar pill. So they always have two groups, the actual one and the placebo group. Because when you give somebody something and says, hey, this is going to make your gray hair go away, the doctor do it, you're going to believe it, the cells in your body believes it, and it reverses that. So the body's very powerful. So the thing is to understand that. But someone asked me, like, how do I get the ego and all that? How do I, listen, understand that you are a renter. You don't own the body, man. So that's the thing with people. They get caught up into the body, and they get caught up into like their personality and all that stuff. They don't get it. It's not you. Like, who you are is like higher than that. It's beyond that, man. And it's so incomprehensible beyond that. It's not even, doesn't even make sense. If you understood or overstand or understand, whatever, if you understand how deep and how powerful you truly are, you wouldn't even sweat this body or anything. Like, not sweat it means like you wouldn't be attached to it, and you wouldn't take things personal. You would stop caring about what people think about you. You would stop. You'd be so powerful. You'd be so powerful because nothing matters. Like, cause you know, like, hey man, I'm more than this. Your confidence will go skyrocketed. See how that works, right? How to cleanse bad karma done in this life. Okay, karma works only one way, guys. This is how it works. Karma works with, again, I always go back to science to show people this stuff, because there's this thing that comes up, and I made a video about this. I think I put it out Tuesday. Someone asked me, this thing goes on a TikTok live. They're like, hey man, what about karmic ties and soul contracts, and all this stuff, man? What if I do something in the past life, it comes back to this? So here's my answer, and I answer it to again. And again, I go back to science. This is the only true karma that ever exists. Any other karma, you invented it yourself. Remember, we live in a self-proclaim and declaring universe. I'm in my own universe in your own. So let me show you what I mean by that. This one I cannot invent. This one you can't invent. This is going to follow you wherever you go. So this is the only one that exists. All the other ones, I can turn them on, I can turn them off. So that means I can turn off soul contracts, I can turn on soul contracts. I can turn off karmic ties, and I can turn on karmic ties. But this one I can never turn off or on. It's just going to stay there. This is the only karma that exists. It's called entropy, cause and effect. It says, whatever I do is going to, a cause will have an effect. If I do positive stuff, I'm going to get positive results. It comes back around, but it comes back multiplied. If I do what I deem as negative stuff, I'm going to get negative stuff. If I treat you a certain way or treat this person a certain way, your cause will always have an effect. That's the only universal karma that exists, my friends. Okay, let's go into now soul ties or karmic stuff. Okay, none of that exists. You invented that in your world. So it exists for you, doesn't exist for me. So when someone says, man, I'm in a karmic soul tie with this person, I keep having bad stuff because I said, you have the bad stuff, not me. In my world, that doesn't exist. I used to have that. And I said, okay, look, so when I studied physics and so I said, okay, so this is all an illusion generated by my subconscious and my conscious mind, and it's giving me this thing and I'm creating it. What if I just turn it off? And I did, and it went away. So all of this you can turn off. So don't let anybody tell you like, oh, it's following you because of your past life. That's all baloney, my friends. The only thing that follows you right now is what you're doing right now. As if you're alive in this world, you have entropy karma. That means do good, you're gonna get good. Do bad, you're gonna get bad. That's you can't. None of us can change that. I can't turn it off, and you can't turn it off on. The other ones you can. They're all just figments of your imagination that you create. That's right. You create your own reality. So if you're in a situation where you feel your karmic ties is not working for you, go turn it off and watch how fast it goes away. If you feel in a situation where, oh my God, they told me it's my past life karma. No, it's baloney. You go turn it off right now, all of it goes away. But if they tell you, man, what you sow you reap, bro, that's true in this world, in this life. That's the only karma that exists. Somewhere in the Bible says that what you sow you reap. That's right. No one has power over your life but you. You can curse your life and you can gift your life. The power is in the tongue. So there's some good stuff the Bible talks about. All the power of life and death is in the tongue. Spoken languages, the words you say. But the only karma is entropy karma, cause and effect. No one can escape that. And you see that every day. You see when people, if you've done something or someone done something to you, that's why I always teach people, listen, man, you don't have to go get revenge on people. If someone did you bad or anything, relax. Karma will take care of them. Entropy karma, no one can escape that. If you know in your heart you're doing the right thing, and some people come up, ignorant people, or whatever, and they do you bad, don't go out there and try to go revenge. The universe is going to take care of them. The thing about entropy karma, man, when that stuff comes back, man, it comes back triple in both ways. So think about it. So that means when you're doing good stuff, man, that stuff's going to come back triple. But when you do bad stuff, oh, it's going to come back triple bad, man, on those people. So you may live long enough to see to get their karma, or you may not live long enough. The thing about karma, it could come tomorrow, it could come 50, 30, 20 years. But who cares? No one can escape that, man. You're not going to escape entropy karma, man. So that's why I always say, treat people how you like to be treated yourself. Do things that you like to do. That's a level of high consciousness awareness. That's what I'm on right now. Everything I do with the intention to help people and to do stuff like that. So I know in my heart, and you know in your heart what you're doing is good. You're going to be fine. But the people that like do stuff to you, don't worry, man. The unit, they got it coming. So that's good to know. That's good to know. They don't know, but it's gonna creep up on them, and when it hits, some of them may look back and remember what they did to you because it'll be so much crazy stuff. Some of them may not. They may still be so ignorant they don't even realize. They just know like, damn, I got all this bad stuff going on in my life. They just think it's. But the point is, an interesting thing about entropy karma is like, when you let it go like that, the more it comes back to them, the more the good goes back to you. So while they're getting the hot end of the stick, your life is flourishing and you're prospering. And that's just a natural order of the universe, guys. So the lesson and the motive of this one, look, man, just do unto people as you like do unto yourself. Do everything with intent, with clear heart, clear motive, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. What should I do if I used to be that person to get revenge? Yeah, you can fix that. Just stop doing it because now you know the signs. Listen, I'm going to show you something deep. When you try to do revenge, you interfere with the self-correcting code of the universe. You're messing up the game. The universe had the plan set up for you. The universe is like, what are you doing, man? I'm going to take care of this. Relax. Go. But you're like, nah, I got it. So you're wasting energy. You're getting stressed. And then you're going to dilute the process. So whenever you just let the universe handle the what you call revenge, it becomes better for you, because one day you're gonna be vindicated. You're gonna know it could, like I said, you could be here when it happened, you could not. But maybe if you're here when it happens, you can sit back and you can relax and you go like this. See, I told you. See those people right there. See what they did to me. That guy, that girl. Look, you came right back on them. Maybe you're lucky enough to see it happen. If not, it's all good. How do I forgive myself? Know that you are a human in a 3D world and you're going to make mistakes, which is normal. So be calm and nice to yourself. Your ego will try to make you feel low and out, but you're not. It's called the law. It's law of cause and effect. We call it, in quantum physics, it's called entropy. So what do I mean by, what is this guy talking about? Entropy karma. So what do I mean? Okay. When the universe began, everything must go from order to disorder. That's why you get old and you die. That's why if no one maintains the trees, the buildings, they crumble and go down. That's why if you're in your house and you don't clean your house, it starts to get messy, things start to get out of place. That's called entropy. That's a natural state of the universe. So everything goes from order to disorder. So when we take it in human terms, it's an energy transfer. So what I do will transfer as an effect. So that means if I do something bad, it's going to come back around and I'm going to interpret it as bad in human terms. If I do something good, it's going to come back around. If someone does something bad to you, they're going to get it back. If you have a good intent in your heart and they did it to you in a wrong way, then they're going to get it back. Likewise too. No one can escape that. They may feel like they're getting away with it. They may say, "Oh man, I got that guy. I did him. Whatever. I got that girl. I showed them. I got one up on them. I took this from them. I got that from them." And they may get away with it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever, up to 10 years, bro. Time doesn't exist. It's gonna come back. It might come back on them when they're late in life at the worst time, but it's gonna come back. Remember, it's going to come back. And it's going to come back with a vengeance. If it's wrong, it's going to come back with prosperity. If it's good. Bam. You know how hard it is to be a human being. The odds of being born. There are more people that have the opportunity to exist than not existing. Think about that. So if you're here, give yourself a hand, because you just beat the odds. Trillions of cells of people every day. Yeah, it's hard to be a human, man. The odds are something like 1 in a trillion or something. It's a stupendous odds. It's like it's easier to win the lottery 10 times over than being born. Did you know that? Yeah. So if you're here, man, go with the flow, enjoy it, man. Go for the ride. Yeah, someone says you won the lottery. You won the lottery like 100 times by being born. So that's something for you to think about. So that's why when you're here, make something with your life. Do something purposeful with your life. Help, create, evolve. Go live your dream. Go for your goal. Live your life, man. Do these things. Don't let your mind stop you. Go for it, because you're already predestined to do it anyway. Just go with it. Let it happen, man. If you're struggling with pain and health issues, emotional, we all have that. Realize that, okay, it's my perception of these things. It's not me. It's just a part of me. I can beat it. I am the higher self. I am the observer. All of this stuff, you can really change your perception. You can live a more quality, better life. None of this stuff to get you down, because by you being here, you already won, man. You already won. You got to remember that. You got to remind yourself of that, because that gets lost in the shuffle. Like I said, there's this taboo about showing people what the real secret of how things work is. That's the fact that you're here. You're here to do big things. You're just not here to exist. The reason you feel you're here to exist is the matrix, the propaganda they put in your head, man. But just remember this, guys. The odds of you being born is a stupendous odds, man. If you watch this channel, my lottery stuff, okay, you know about the lottery, right? You will win the lottery 10 to 20 times more than being born. So let that sink in. You really gotta let that sink in. I'll stop and think about that right now. Just don't let that pass over your head. When I hit you, maybe it'll take an hour after this video. I repost this video. It'll hit you. You'll be like, damn, this guy just said some deep stuff. With that being said, I'll catch you guys next time.